Not all replays will be replays of me playing, but when the patch came out, there weren't a ton of replays to cast yet, and I had to get my my stock up. So I saved any replays from my live stream that were really fun. I have one here of myself versus Raced, trying out Nurgle's buffs. Mostly the buffs they got were the Bile Trolls. But I thought versus Nurgle, Bile Trolls could actually be pretty good. Versus Raced on the Ogres. I forget if I mentioned who I was fighting. But yeah, I brought him for this -8 leadership. And then I'm going to stack it with Doom and Darkness. And -24 leadership on a Noblar frontline can be pretty brutal, especially when piggyback riders, the things that made the Noblar frontline so strong. Piggyback riders took a nerf, I think specifically to their leadership. Uncanny Coordination gives you a leadership buff as long as your hit points are high, but I think their base value is now 45 instead of 55, if I remember correctly. So anyway, I thought the leadership debuffs could be good, and Ogres aren't nearly as scary without Noblars protecting their feats. So we have Frolickers Bubonic, and then Marauders of Nurgle with great weapons, Forsaken of Nurgle, and that is a lot of infantry for us. We have 2 buffed Plague Ogres with great weapons, 2 buffed Bile Trolls, and then I have Tamarkon, the Maggot Lord, because he also has a leadership debuff, but I kind of forgot that when I thought about picking him. I saw it and I obviously grabbed it, but like, I mostly just wanted him for an armor-piercing anti-large duelist lord. So I thought that could be kind of fun. And then I have a Chaos Sorcerer of Death with Spirit Leech and Doom and Darkness. The other side for Raced, we have the Snowhorn of Morn and a basic Giant. Slaughtermaster of Death with his own Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech. Then Noblars, Ogre Bulls, Piggyback Riders, Golgies, Maneaters, and then some Noblar Trappers. Then he has the Ample Peak Greyback Yetis and the Piggyback Knights. Piggyback Rider ROR. I don't know if I have anything that causes terror. I don't have anything that causes terror, so those Yetis won't get their passive. They have a passive like Grey Superiority or something. That one, Grey Supremacy, where they get a bunch of damage and damage resistance if you have terror, which I don't have. Plague Ogre is going to charge in and try and punish the Snowhorn of Morn for taking his chance to charge my Forsaken of Nurgle. Now he just ignores them, gets back on his way into charging other Forsaken. Gets another decent little charge, but Stonehorns get most of their charge damage from charging something past something else, so my spread out formation is kind of messing with him in that capacity. Forsaken hit the front line, fighting Ogre Bulls and Piggyback. Well, those are just basic Noblars, so they should be fine. Giant wades in, my Plague Ogres think about taking the fight to the Giant, but instead I'm going to go after the not the Mornfang. Why am I having an issue with you? Stonehorn. My Bile Trolls are trying to get in here, but really Raced has just disrupted how I wanted this fight to go. But we do have various buffs going on, so Stomach Acid plus Doom and Darkness. We're going to get these Ogre Bulls to rout and these Noblars to rout at pretty high HP points, so I'm quite happy about that. And now Tamarkon gets a 1v1 with the Slaughtermaster of Death with my own support around me. I have Plague Trolls, Plague Ogres, Bile Trolls, and Marauders of Great Weapons if I need them. The Slaughtermaster is thinking about routing while at nearly full HP. He's so close, he's -10 already. And he is going to rout, so I've taken out the enemy Lord on the charge. Very, very good stuff for me. So the Ogre's Lord is going to retreat, making their leadership problems even worse. Now, with Doom and Darkness caster and my Bile Trolls and their Lord is going to be dead, this entire formation should just fall apart. While the Piggyback Riders try and hold for now, the Frolickers Bubonic are doing well. I do have some Bile Trolls terror routing above half HP because they're filthy cowards, and I guess Giants are scary. But our Forsaken are churning through infinite amounts of Noblars. We do have Plague Ogres fighting back against the Ample Peak Greyback Yetis, who are doing very well, and to me, I'll admit that. And Golgies Maneaters are going to retreat in the distance. I'm trying to chase them down. And the Slaughtermaster did die. There's his little body with his circus pants. Everybody's leadership is a lot worse. You can see these Noblar Trappers in the back aren't even under attack, and they're thinking about routing. That's how poorly it's going for these guys. Meanwhile, the Snowhorn of Morn, I curse the slugs, slow it, because I'm trying to get through here. These Ogre Bulls won't rout, and I really need to keep these Maneaters retreating, so I send the Frolickers Bubonic after them. I'm trying to catch up to these guys. And the Snowhorn decides to abandon this fight. Now, bounce power is 50-50. Where is my caster? There we go. Caster's in there. He's fine. So in the background, the Frolickers Bubonic are trying to chase down the Maneaters. So a lot happens here that I just need to pause for a second. I give these Plague Ogres attack orders onto the Maneaters. 46 speed to 54, It's a little tough, but I can maybe stay in range. So they have orders onto the man-eaters, and there's nothing around to stop them. There's just some shattered Ogre Bulls. Then over here, I want to see what happens, because I missed this in the game. The Snowhorn of Morn charges in, gets a hit onto my Chaos Sorcerer of Death. I throw down an Overcast. The Overcast also hurts me, but I'm trying to get everybody's leadership down as I have Bile Trolls trying to get back into the fight. In the background, my Plague Ogres still have attack orders onto Golgi's Man-Eaters. And then my Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, I start to tell him to leave. Got it. And then the Snowhorn comes over, knocks him over with a bit of a charge, hits him with another charge, terror outs him, hits him with another charge. My Plague Ogres lose their attack orders, so I tell them to come back to the main fight. Snowhorn of Morn hits him again. Okay, so that's what happened to my... And he hits him again! And he shatters him and kills him. Okay, that's what happened. So in the real game, I knew my caster was right next to Tamarkan, right? And then I was microing over here, trying to get these guys to keep the Man-Eaters running. My Plague Ogres lost attack orders and stood around here, so then when they fell too far behind, I knew they couldn't catch up anyway, so I ordered them back to the fight. And I tried to keep my Frolickers Bubonic close enough to the Man-Eaters, but I couldn't quite do it. So the Man-Eaters rallied. I was frustrated the Man-Eaters rallied, and then I come back, and my Sorcerer is just dead. And I had no idea what happened to him. I was like, what happened? But it apparently looks like the Snowhorn of Morn just took him out back and hit every single attack in a row, just over and over and over again, and knocked that guy out, which is pretty unlucky for me, that he just got that many attacks on so quickly and so focused. So, dang. All right, we lost our caster and the Man-Eaters are back. Pretty bad turn of events for me there as the Yetis beat up my Plague Ogres' great weapons. Tamarkan continues to fight with a giant, tanking it up as he can. Now, we do have a bit of strength over here. I'm trying to rally. We have some Bile Trolls that are busy getting through random Gnoblars. Plague Ogres are going to help out with that. Frolickers Bubonic going to go fight the Golgi's Man-Eaters in the distance. And Tamarkan's going to fall back. I don't want to 2v1 the Giant and the Snowhorn of Morn. I have some Bile Trolls in the distance. I'm trying to let just regenerate for a bit. We have some infantry we're rallying on various fronts. We're just trying to get rid of all these Gnoblars right now. Bile Trolls are constantly healing. And probably building up army abilities. I know I used the Curse of the Slug earlier, but I should have a Fecundity soon, considering how long this game has gone on. My Marauders are going to tear out. Plague Ogre's stuck fighting. Bile Trolls still trying to get all these Gnoblars and Ogre Bulls to leave me alone. I don't have Doom and Darkness anymore because my caster got one tapped, and there is a Fecundity out right when I needed it. It's going to heal up my Plague Ogres and Tamarkan. I mean, the Bile Trolls too, but they have their own healing, so they don't really need it. Golgi's Man-Eaters coming back in. However, Balance of Power is pretty far against me at this point. We take one final fight. Again, everybody is routing. Oof. Everybody's routing. Trying to get my Forsaken Marauders back in here as Gnoblar Trappers come over to support the fight a bit. Giant's taking a lot of damage, but he's a tanky boy. Snowhorn of Morn is taking a lot of damage, but he's a tanky boy. My Plague Ogres don't seem to have the strength for a full fight. I'm running my Bile Trolls away from the Man-Eaters. I don't want to 1v1 them out in the distance, especially not if they have Piggyback Rider support or something, so I'm waiting to get my Forsaken in here as Tammy Tams continues to duel it out. Bounce Power is getting a little better for me. I don't know how the Ogres are doing on army passive, but maybe if they don't have a meat feast available, I can get another Fecundity out. I'm going to have these Marauders take the charge for my Forsaken so that the Forsaken could turn around and not take as much charge damage. But I mean, it's just doing my best in a bad situation as the Forsaken get run down by the Man-Eaters and the Snowhorn. Try and fight back for a little bit. I try and take this opportunity to kill off the Gnoblars and the Giant now that the Snowhorn and the Man-Eaters have left me alone. Gnoblar Trappers, though, at 3 leadership and refusing to rout. I can't quite get rid of them. Bounce Power is getting worse and worse for poor old Nurgle as my Plague Ogres fight next to Tamarkan. Bile Trolls continue to whittle through Gnoblar Trappers. But these Trappers are getting more and more courageous as time goes on. Some of these guys are starting to shatter, but the Snowhorn is coming back, the Man-Eater is coming back, and even the Ample Peak Greybacks. Amble Peak, not Ample. The Greybacks are coming back. At this point, it's doomed. And I surrender shortly. Man, if that Snowhorn hadn't completely destroyed my caster, I definitely could have won. Dang it, because I had Spirit Leeches, I had Doom and Darkness and stuff. But, ugh, it's crazy. It was crazy. Was that, you know, Is it good play by Raced? Of course it was. Of course it was. But it is funny because like sometimes, you know, you all know how it is. You'll try and set something up where you're like, actually, no, I have an example from this stream. From this stream. I didn't cast that game because it was silly, but I was fighting, I think it was Blood Penguin or something. But he overextends Imric versus my Corn because he was going for something cheeky or whatever, but I rampage Imric to the ground. He was on his dragon. So Imric is rampaged, 1v1ing Scarbrand, then I surround him with the Blood Crusher ROR. So he's surrounded by Blood Crushers and Scarbrand. He takes a bit of damage and then walks away, and he's just fine. And Scarbrand keeps following him around and just like standing there with his arms out, like, what, bro? What, bro? And I'm like, don't what, bro him, hit him. And he's like, what, bro? What you gonna do, bro? And I'm like, apparently walk away unless you do something, Scarbrand. And Scarbrand doesn't do anything, right? So that sucks. And that happens, that's happened to everybody. Everybody has a story like that or something. To go from a game like that to a game like this where the Snowhorn of Morn is like, oh, you want that specific guy dead and that specific guy is in the middle of a giant fight? I'll get him, boss. Runs into the fight, hits my guy out of the fight, runs out of the fight, hits my guy again, hits my guy again. My guy's running away, hits him again. My guy's on the ground, hits him again, and kills him. And I'm like, yeah, that's how it should work, but it doesn't always do that. If only my units did that. So that was funny. And then I couldn't keep those man-eaters routing. My lost attack orders was a bit of a bummer, but I had lower speed than them anyway, so it was kind of like suspect if I could keep up with them regardless, because sometimes charging helps you, sometimes it doesn't. But my Plague Ogres losing their attack orders because of that Shattered Ogre Bowl in between them distracted them. That definitely doomed me as far as the man-eaters coming back was concerned. So losing the caster lost me the game. Losing the man-eaters pursuit was just kind of a nail in the coffin, but the coffin already existed as soon as the Snowhorn just went into his hyperbolic time chamber and came out a friggin' Super Saiyan to turn this game around. I sniped his lord instantly, and his Snowhorn of Morn was like, I bet. Came back stronger than ever. Dang, man. It was a close game. It was a very fun one. GG's the race. GG's, bruh. Yetis did fine. Snowhorn did amazing. Giant did very well. Nobbler Trappers did quite nicely. Man-eaters did okay. Ogre Bulls did fine. Nobblars and other piggybacks did fine. GG. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.